YouTube in. Welcome back to the next in the two-part series where I talk about the drama of my channel, its history, the trials and tribulations of my time here on YouTube, and the extent to which I've gotten myself in hot water time and time again, yet seem to keep chugging by. This episode is brought to you by a fan of mine on Twitter who made a fan cam of me. That's the term, right? Fan cam, when you clip someone out of context to try to get them in hot water. It's from some rando that I debated a year ago and have since blown past in every conceivable metric. But I think his Twitter account is now exclusively dedicated to clip chimping me. Do you know the term clip chimping? A lot of you might be too young to get it. That's a Twitch term. That's not a fan cam. I'm patronizing hypocrite, guys. It's meant to be a joke. This is the guy, you've probably seen the clip before, where I blew him the fuck out and then he ended up saying, "You're fat." That was like his retort. He's come up with another devastating clip to share. Here, wait. Get the clip. There we go. Come up with another devastating clip to share. You're going to see two Vaushes on screen for just a moment. I apologize for the redundancy. Now, there are several problems with this clip. First and foremost, and I don't know why, I sound like a whiny little bitch in this clip. I don't know if I had a cold at the time. I don't know if, like, my mic settings were off, but listen to me talking.
Yeah, I mean, it's really funny because I'm over here.
You know what? Okay, I'm gonna... Here, wait, hold on. I should probably move my webcam down because I'm, like, blocking their faces. I've been doing it the whole video. I just want to say, do you think it maybe speaks a little bit to the fact... Okay, we've swapped. The real current Vaush is top right, okay? The fact that we have a rape culture when we put 6 people in a room, little bit to the fact that we have a rape culture. The fact that we have a rape culture. I don't really know. I feel like I might have had like a stuffy sinuses back then, but basically the context of the video was they brought conservatives and liberals together to talk about whether or not the Me Too movement has gone too far. As evidenced by the title, has the Me Too movement gone too far? And the argument that I'm making here, and the first like 3/4 of the clip is essentially this. It's me saying like, a fuck ton of people are sexually harassed or abused or assaulted or raped. We don't know how many. It's really difficult to know, but like, because it is such a frequent occurrence, we should probably make an effort to be understanding to those who have like rape claims or like rape accusations or like their stories. We should probably make an effort to like listen to these people. And that Me Too has not gone too far by like in any way, shape, or form. So that's the first 3/4 or so, okay? So I say all that, and then we get here's the reason why I'm canceled. Get ready.
You're like, I don't think things are on the same level, but things impact you in like bizarre ways. But yeah, like because the perpetrator wasn't white, and because he was like, I'm you know part of like a certain religion.
Wait, are we being real?
And the police were basically just like, we can't because of cultural differences, which I don't feel like is such a good.
What? Bullshit! Are you fucking kidding me? Did she turn her fucking rape confession onto how the rape refugees fucking Ahmed Muhammad? And that's the end of the clip right there. Do you see the hypocrisy? The hypocrisy is that I spent some time saying you should believe women, and then I didn't believe a woman. Do you get it? Do you understand? Well, let's break it down, because I think this is actually a really interesting case study of the extent to which we should believe people when they have certain claims. So, they were talking about their experiences with sexual assault. And this woman,
You're like,
this one, is a far-right Australian YouTuber with a history of making videos that are, I mean, just beginning, just Islamophobic, but we can go further than that, which are pretty dicey. Now, we're talking about our rape experiences here. So let's listen for the moment when things get a little weird.
I don't think things are on the same level, but things impact you in like bizarre ways.
That's true. Trauma can impact you in a bizarre way.
But yeah, like, because the perpetrator wasn't white.
Because they weren't white. Nobody had mentioned race thus far. Nobody. So that's a really weird thing to open up with. Nobody had mentioned race.
And because he was like, you know, part of like a certain religion.
Part of a certain religion. Now, I'm going to assume that she's referring to Muslim or Islam here. Because of the following. Wait, are we being real?
And the police were basically just like, we can't because of cultural differences, which I don't feel like.
And then the police said they can't investigate the rape claim because of cultural differences. Now, the phrase believe all women, if taken literally, would be insane. What, just believe any woman ever? Like if a woman walks up to you and she's like, I'm being raped right now, and you see her standing there, are you supposed to believe her? Well, no, of course not. Believe all women means take these claims seriously, which I do. And for what it's worth, and I clarify this in the whole video that I did, but of course, we don't have the whole video, we just have the clip, that I don't doubt that this person, Sydney Watson, I believe her name is, was raped. Statistically speaking, I mean, she's a woman, it's not that unlikely. So I'm not doubting that. What's interesting to me, though, is the framing. And I say all this in the total video, which is why, by the way, this clip was pulled from a video that is on my channel publicly, and nobody has objected to its contents in the comments. This isn't some hidden gem that was pulled out. This was just some open video of the hundreds that I've done. Now, it's a little weird when everyone's talking about their rape experiences, and then one person says, oh, well, my person, he wasn't white, and, well, because of his religion, the police said that the cultural differences mean they wouldn't prosecute him. I don't think this is something that most of the viewers of this channel need reminding of, but I really don't think there's a habit of police officers failing to investigate the sexual assault or rape of white women by non-white people. I looked up the stats in Australia. It's as true there as it is here in America. Just doesn't seem to be a thing that happens that often. In fact, the stats seem to indicate that police are more interested in investigating cases of rape when done against white women by non-white men. Can't imagine why. But for somebody to say this in a YouTube video, in a discussion that has nothing to do with race, religion, immigration, or culture, it's just the Me Too movement. In the context of this discussion, to go off on a tangent about how you were raped by a person of color and the police wouldn't investigate them, this fits perfectly within the right-wing narrative that the PC SJW restrained police won't investigate abuses against white women because they're subject to the woke, like the woke masses that just want like whites to be destroyed and overridden by black people, or brown people, I guess, in that case. It fits spectacularly within that narrative. And the narrative is what I doubt. Now, it is not statistically impossible that everything she said happened did happen. That the police actually said, we won't investigate because of cultural differences. I can't fathom a police officer making that claim. Can you imagine that? Like, hey, I'm a white woman. I was sexually assaulted by a brown person. Oh, well, okay, we won't investigate it though because they're Muslim. We won't do that though. Stats just don't seem to follow that, line of action. While it may conceivably be possible that what she described actually happened, it's not, nothing is impossible. It was still irrelevant in the context of the conversation. even if everything she said was true, it was a tangent. And it was a tangent that fulfills the interests of a right-wing narrative. Let me give you an example, and then I'll put an end to this, I think, with conclusion. Let me give you an example, okay? Imagine if there was a panel done on Jubilee about violence in the streets and crime, violence in the streets and crime. And they get together people from big cities to ask them for their perspective on crime. Like, have you been a victim of crime? Have you ever been mugged or assaulted? Like, so on and so forth, And I show up there, and I am a far left YouTuber, which, hey, look at that. I show up, and I'm a far left YouTuber, and I say, like, yeah, I've been assaulted before. Like, that's the question. Have you been assaulted before? And I say, yeah, I've been assaulted before. I was just walking to my car after driving down to the local, NAACP branch to donate, and then a guy ran up to me and he said, you love black people, and he started beating the shit out of me, and he had a MAGA hat, and I saw there was a crumpled Klan hood in his pocket, and he was beating the shit out of me, and all I could see looking up through like the bleary, like the bloody, bruised eyes was his white face. He smiled at me and he said, looks like crime statistics aren't all you have to worry about. And then he ran off, and as he ran off, like he flashed the OK sign at me, and I saw like the Kekistani flag, like falling out of his back pocket or something like that. Now, technically, everything I just described is possible. Nothing I said is capable of not nothing I said is out of the realm of possibility. But if I brought that up at a Jubilee meeting where we're all just talking about our experiences with violent crime, and it's half liberals and half conservatives there, do you think some people might call bullshit on me? Even if it technically could have happened, What do you think? It's not even whether or not it happened, it's its relevance to the discussion and the fact that it perfectly aligns with a political agenda you could ascribe to me, And some maybe the conservative guy would be like, dude, I don't really think that happened. And I'd be like, are you denying that I was assaulted? Well, the conservative might not be denying I was assaulted. They might be denying the validity and the relevance of some of the associated claims. So that was kind of the feeling that I got from this. And that's pretty much all there is to say about it. If Sydney Watson has been a victim of sexual assault at any point in her life, which again is totally possible, and in fact, unfortunately, not at all unlikely, then those are valid experiences that I think she has every right to communicate to those around her, and should, in fact, as part of spreading awareness with regards to how women have it rough in the society. And I don't doubt that she has at some point experienced, if not sexual assault, maybe rape, as she described. But the context in which it was brought up here made me skeptical. And that's why I reacted the way I did. There are a lot of conservatives online right now who are going like, see, the whiplash. Vaush believes all women unless the rapist is brown. Then he doesn't believe her. And that's why iHypocrite posted what iHypocrite posted. My number one fan. iHypocrite posted that because that very narrow clip, interpreted through the political framework of people who are already conservative-leaning, seems as though it is an instance of me permissively allowing brown men to rape white women and being very critical of other forms of sexual assault. Funnily enough, their framing of the clip does the exact same thing to my stream that Sydney Watson's retelling does to that clip in the Jubilee video. It tries to extrapolate a far-right talking point from a position in which it was not necessarily warranted. But if anyone was offended by that or thought that I was being too flippant, that's totally reasonable. Again, I would ask you, though, to sympathize. If everything that I said as an example was done, we're talking about violent assault, and I talk about the Kekistani guy beating me up while saying, duh, we love Trump, and somebody called bullshit on that, I think it would be reasonable for them to do so, much in the same way that I think it's reasonable for me to object to the insertion of far-right talking points into an otherwise comparatively apolitical discussion of Me Too and rape culture.